Hey, what is going on, guys? It's LittleBigness here, and I am here to bring you our UPA Season 5 Week 8 team builder. We're going up against River, the coach of the Rosmalen Roserades, and you can see his team right below me. This is the team builder before the battle, by the way. I keep on making that mistake in my videos, and I understand that. But yeah, this is just like the team preview beforehand. You can see he's got Mega Aerodactyl, Volcarona, Latios, Milotic, Gliscor, Amoonguss, Heracross, Frostlass, Wobbuffet, Golurk, Wigglytuff, and Mawile. So, immediately, Heracross is a huge threat to my team. Mega Aerodactyl is tough to beat. What else is a big threat? Latios is a big threat. So, I'm kind of scared about a lot of stuff that could be coming, honestly. But I feel like I did prep well, and of course we'll find out, but I'm pretty happy with what I prepped, so we're going to get right into it. We've got Vector, our Crocodile, right here, and he is a physically defensive set, got leftovers. It's got Knockoff, Stealth Rock, Earthquake, and Rock Slide. Knockoff's just there for general stab, knockoff items. Hits a lot of things super effectively, like the Golurk, the Frostlass, the Latios, if I can get that, you know. Then Stealth Rock there because I need a rocker. Earthquake is good general stab, again, and it hits the Mawile, and I think that's the only thing it hits super effectively, actually. And then Rock Slide to hit things like my Aerodactyl, you know, Volcarona, stuff like that. And then my investment, I think it's so I don't get 2-hit KO'd by a Mega Aerodactyl Aqua Tail on a switch-in. This is really meant just to counter the Mega Aerodactyl and the Golurk. I thought about running like a Pasho Berry, but I didn't really think it was worth it. So, yeah, then I think I have 40 speed. Oh yeah, South Speed, Max Speed Golurk, Max Speed Jolly. Next we have Snappy, our Blastoise, and it's really here for utility, and this is one of the only things on my team that can possibly take a hit from Heracross. Heracross is a huge threat to my team. That's the biggest threat by far. I'm really hoping he doesn't bring it. If he doesn't, it's gonna be huge. But yeah, this is kind of like my semi-check to to Heracross. It's got Scald, Hidden Power Flying, Rapid Spin, and Toxic. Hidden Power Flying is purely for the Heracross. Scald, General Stab, can burn things. Toxic, I'd love the Toxic on my Milotic, even though it will get the Marvel Scale boost. I'm fine with that. Or I should be. And it can also Toxic down the Wobbuffet, which is also a big threat that I had to prep for pretty carefully. So yeah, it's really kind of just there for spin and hopefully take hits from a Heracross. So then we have Irock, our Dusclops, and this is a Spadef Dusclops, and it's got Rock Slide, Sucker Punch, Pain Split, and Will-O-Wisp. This thing is here for the Latios and the Volcarona mainly. It can be here to take hits from a Frostlass. Because Frostlass really doesn't do much to it. Or anything like Wigglytuff if you really want to make a special attacking tank Wigglytuff. But then Rock Slide is so I can hit the Volcarona super effectively. It can't set up on me. Sucker Punch is for the Latios. I don't think it'll be expected, so I could easily go for that. Pain Split, just so I can get a little bit of recovery. I didn't really want to run Rest. And then Will-O-Wisp, just in case I need to status something with that Willow. Things that I might like to burn, Mega Aerodactyl, if I could get a switch on Gliscor, Golurk, Mawile. I can't burn Heracross, which is horrible because it could have guts. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the Dusclops set. It's my main special wall. Next we have Vendetta, our Victini, and it's Choice Bandit with V-Create, Bolt Strike, U-Turn, and Zen Headbutt. My speed investment is so I can outspeed a Jolly Heracross without a Scarf. This thing can just break walls on the entire team. I thought about running a Jolly Nature, but it really hinders a lot of my power. The reason I'd run Jolly is so I can outspeed the Gliscor. I think I 2-hit KO that with V-Create, by the way. It takes a lot. Victini is a beast. I think I'm almost 2-hit KO Milotic. It's insane. And this is a Fizdef Milotic I'm talking about, not, you know, any pansy thing. So, really nothing can take hits from the Banded Victini, and I see it definitely as the way to go. Bolt Strike in case I predict the Milotic, of course. U-Turn for the initiatives, and Headbutt in case I don't want to lower anything and I just need to hit everything with Zen Headbutt. Next we have Godzilla or Haxorus. It's got a Lumberry. I didn't really want to run a Lumberry. I wanted to run something like a Life Orb, maybe like a Dragon Fang or something like that. But that didn't really work out. So it's got Outrage, Earthquake, Poison Jab, and Dragon Dance. This thing can hit both of the fairies, which I'm really happy about. He does have 2 fairies, River does, but I can hit both of them with Haxorus. I don't really expect either of them to be brought, but it very well could happen because, you know, Haxorus is there and it's a threat. But I really want this to be my sweeper. If I get 1 Dragon Dance up, I could do severe damage to the team after breaking it with Victini. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. The Lumberry helps me set up against something like the Amoonguss, possibly the Gliscor. It's gonna be a struggle to set with Haxorus, that's for sure. But I really want to find the window to be able to do that, so figured it'd be the way to go. I could possibly set up against a Wobbuffet, you never know. Also, the Lumberry does help me if I click Outrage, so it's got a couple other reasons there. Next, we have Bolt or Jolteon, and it's a Life Orb set with Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and Hidden Power Ice. Besides Mega Arrow, the fastest thing on the team for River is tied between Frostlass and Latios. So I only need 351 speed. I'm allowed to run a Modest Nature, get a lot of power around, do some Volt Turning, hit things with HP Ice. I'm talking Gliscor here. Potentially Amoonguss too. Shadow Ball for the Golurk and the Latios, which I do outspeed, so I'm happy about that. This thing can Volt Switch a lot because nothing really wants to come in on the Jolteon, and if he wants one of his ground types to come in, I can take advantage of that. So Jolteon's going to be really powerful this week. So that's it for the team preview, and I'll see you guys when we get to the battle. Alright, and we are back here to record the battle. Sorry that it's post-com. My computer actually broke down during the battle, which was really awkward. I had to go and play it on my laptop. But I'm going to have to do the post-com today. I'm going to make sure to keep on doing live comms. I've kind of been slipping in both my leagues, really. Things have just happened, and it hasn't been good. So I got to make sure I'm recording, make sure my computer won't just die on me, stuff like that. But anyway, we're going to go right into the battle. I was predicting Heracross instead of, I believe, Golurk or Gliscor. I'm recording this a lot later, so I don't exactly remember what I was predicting. But I was definitely predicting Heracross, and when I didn't see it, I was so excited because that thing destroyed me. I had nothing that could switch into a Heracross, so we're going to get right into the battle right here. So, he chose to lead off with Frostlass. I need to put this on slow speed. I chose to lead off with Jolteon. I went for Volt Switch first play because if he went into one of his ground types, I assumed that I'd be able to knock it out. But then I got kind of wary when the Gliscor came in, plus I didn't predict that he would go into a ground type in the first place. So I just went to Blastoise because it's really expendable. This was the only thing, the only reason Blastoise is really brought was to try and put a dent in the Heracross, but clearly that wasn't brought, so he stays in and bulldozes. Bulldoze is a cool move to have. I don't really see the most of a point to it. It was probably just to slow down some of my faster stuff. But, yeah, I don't know why he bulldozed the second time. I can just scald him, so. Then he goes out into Milotic, and I go for another Scald. I just kept on spamming Scald. You know, burns aren't bad. I didn't really want to burn too much on this, though, because then I could Toxic it on the turn after. And I'm just going to let the Milotic Toxic me right now, because this thing is so expendable. I really don't need this Blastoise. So then I Toxic it. That's really nice. So I'm going to be able to get a lot of residual damage off on the Milotic, and I'm a really big fan of that, because this thing is a threat, and I need to weaken it as much as possible. So, he goes for the Aqua Ring, which is kind of an interesting move, but then when I see this, I'm like, yo, my Haxorus will probably be able to set up on it. So, that was a really big sigh of relief for me. But, yeah, so he kind of just tries to get into a stall war. I don't want to get Toxic too much because I see it kind of free switch into my Jolteon. So I go for it, and he does have the Scald, so I'm assuming his last move's Recover. My Jolteon does get burned, but I'm fine with that. It doesn't really do much for me. Sure, Jolteon won't be as useful as it would have been, but I'm fine with it. So, I forget what I go for here. I think I go for a Thunderbolt. Yeah, I say in Thunderbolt just to try and get a lot of damage off. And he brings in the Frostlass. I'm fine with that. So, I'm just going to go ahead and click Shadow Ball because he might want to switch in the Latios. And, it'll also knock out the Frostlass, so I just figured it'd be the best play. Just get a lot of damage off. And damn, the webcam's kind of flickering. I don't know why it's doing that. Sorry about that. That's one thing I've noticed with my webcam lately. But yeah, I see the leftovers on the Latios here, and I'm immediately assuming it's probably going to try and set up on me, which honestly isn't that good. If it's defensively invested, it's going to do a lot to me. So then I Shadow Ball and ends up knocking out the Gliscor. I'm a big fan of that. Gliscor is down. My Jolteon's down too, but it put a huge dent in the team. So I'm not even fazed by it. I'm really happy about it. So he goes into the Latios, and I go into the Blastoise, because the Blastoise is just the expendable member. I decided to switch out because I assume my Dusclops would be good to go against this thing. And he goes for a Roost, which is really unfortunate. I should have Toxic there. That was kind of a misplay. But now I've got my Dusclops in. And River withdraws, goes into Frostlass, but I go for Shadow Sneak actually. And I'm assuming he was trying to just take a status in, which was probably the right play. I didn't have Toxic though, so I didn't really want to go for it then. But yeah, I Shadow Sneak, knock out the Frostlass. Milotic comes in, I know I can't touch it, so I go out into my Blastoise just to try and stall this thing out again. And he goes for Aqua Ring. He told me after the battle his plan was to have Aqua Ring just to try and stall out the Blastoise. I don't necessarily agree with it because it made me be able to set up on the Milotic for days with my Haxorus, but I guess I can see that he'd want to outstall the Blastoise, but then again, you have Recover. It's just stuff like that. I don't think it was the most necessary thing. But yeah, now we're going to get into a bit of a stall war because I just want to get this Milotic as weak as possible. So I'm going to go to Fast Speed for a little bit. It's seriously just Scald, 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 Scald. You know, that's really the gist of it. Nothing exciting. So let's just wait for this stall war to get over. I think I go down in a couple of turns. And yeah, I'll go down the turn after this. And I just want to make sure this Milotic's as weak as possible. And the Blastoise ends up going down, but that is fine. I'm going to go back on slow mode after that stall war. Mini stall war, not really a major stall war. But I go straight into Haxorus because I know I can sweep at this point. And it's time for me to do it. So I just Dragon Dance right up. And he goes for Scald. And it burns me, which actually did matter in the end. Because if I would have had my Lumberry, I would have swept outright. Maybe, actually, yeah, I would have swept outright, I believe. So then I go for Outrage. And knocks out the Milotic. And I know I'm probably sweeping at this point. I'm a +1 Haxorus, and nothing else is really that bulky. So he goes Aerodactyl, I'm assuming sacking it. But this was a really weird play to me, because you're going to find out later that the Golurk had a Focus Sash. So I think it was a really weird play to just kind of sack the Aerodactyl off like that. But he goes Golurk, and I break through and hit my Outrage here, and I knock the Golurk down to its Focus Sash. And what does the Golurk go for? It goes for Earthquake. I love that. And then I think I break through it. Yeah, no, my Confusion stops, and I go for an Outrage. I never got a 3-turn Outrage in this game. One of those, or you know, especially right here, it could have saved me the game, because the Latios comes out, and the Haxorus ends up going down to Confusion. That would have been a nice sweep from Haxorus, but Haxorus still did a hell of a job. Now here's the scary part. He goes for Calm Mind. I know he's a setup. I assumed it earlier. And I know my Crocodile probably won't be able to knock out from this range, or he'll go down to a Draco. So I go into Dusclops, and I don't really know why. I should have gone to Victini and clicked U-turn. But I'm assuming my Shadow Sneaks will do more. So I keep on just... I will was first just get residual on it, and then I keep on Shadow Sneaking this thing, and it really doesn't do much. So I'm kind of just sitting here trying to chip away at the Latios, letting it set up, because I don't want to make another one of my Mons switch in. I want to just sack off this Dusclops at this point. So I'm kind of just sitting here Shadow Sneaking for a while, and that's just kind of how it's going to go. I think he gets to +5 on the Calm Mind. And then he does something. I think he roosts up a couple of times too. There was one point right at the end of this. I think I Shadow Sneak here. He roosts. I think I Shadow Sneak here again, actually. And then he Calm Minds. And now that I know he's forced to roost, I go into my Victini. Now here's where things might get a bit more interesting. So I'm going to slow it down. The Victini, I'm assuming, can just U-turn on this thing, since it's banded. He goes for Roost, fearing the Scarf. That honestly was kind of a misplay. But now I see the speed investment on the Latios, and I know my Crocodile can't outspeed it either. So I go back into Dustclops, thinking I might be able to knock out with a Shadow Sneak if I'm lucky. And, you know, get a high roll or a crit. But high roll wouldn't even have done it with this spread. So it was that close, but the Latios is able to roost up. And now we're kind of back at the same point. It's not as extensive because Shadow Sneak into... I'm going to go back to fast for a little bit. Shadow Sneak into Roost. And Shadow Sneak, Roost. And now River's going to go for Draco Meteor because he's at max health. Or at least as high as he can be. So he goes for Draco Meteor. That knocks out my Dustclops. And special attack drop is a big deal. I go into Crocodile, hoping he can think I'm Scarfed and potentially Roost. So that's what I do. And also I think Victini might have a better chance of living a Draco Meteor. So then he goes for Roost, and I go for Knockoff. That does a hell of a lot, but still, it lives it. This Latios is so bulky. It was a great, great build by River. Like, holy shit. But then he goes for another Roost. I don't know why, honestly. That lost him the differential on the game. So, GG, River. That was a brilliant Latios set. I accidentally clicked the goal right there. Might be. I think the differential could have been a bit better. I don't know why you didn't bring Heracross though. If you're listening to this or watching this, but yeah, everything else. I think my gameplay just kind of went according to plan. I was really happy about it, and it was a good battle overall. It kind of got stally, which is kind of boring to watch, but it was a good battle. I think I misplayed a lot. I think River also misplayed a little bit. But at least I was able to come out on top. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace!